I'm talking on the subject rape. And where rape means reduced, abused, punished, and exposed. He taught in the court of the women when the incident occurred. Where Jesus had gone to teach was not a place ordinarily a Jew who knew the law would go and teach. Because that was the court of women. The court of women. A place that women came to do ablution. It was a place that women came to wash themselves. It was a place that women gathered together to seek counsel from elderly women. And that is where Jesus went to teach. And this is what I call serendipity, unexpected visitation. Had Jesus not appeared in that unorthodox environment, this woman would have been stoned to death. Jesus is going to choose to appear at strange places where ordinarily the law would have barred him from entering. Ordinarily, the systems would have stopped him from reaching some of you. Because as per the law, you have fallen a victim. And where you find yourself, it seems that grace cannot permeate that quarter. But this night, I am here to tell you that there is nowhere grace cannot enter. Either in the court of the women or in the court of the treasuries. Now watch this. Where Jesus met this woman they had brought was near the court of the women. In fact, it was just close by. And on the other side was where they kept the kingdom or the temple treasuries. So this is where the women who were being reduced by the law came to do ablution. And right on the other side was where people kept the money. Do you know the distance or the difference between anybody and prosperity is his connection to Jesus? If you are connected to Jesus, or if Jesus is on the junction to serve as a bridge for you to your destination, there is no way you can miss what God has for you. Yes, there is a temple. Yes, the treasuries are kept at one side. Yes, the women by law are kept at a different distance. But because Jesus stays in the middle, women in that moment can be connected one more time to the treasuries of peace, to the treasuries of rest, to the treasuries of staying away from the law that condemned them, can stay away from whatever reduced them. And tonight I'm talking to somebody. In case you have been raped, reduced. In case you have been raped, abused. In case you have been raped, punished for no reason. And in case you have been raped, exposed for no reason, even by loved ones and enemies, Jesus says he stands close to you and he will turn your rape into a moment of his exoneration. Where people think you didn't qualify for heaven's appraisal, he will give you an appraisal that will shock your enemies. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here this night? I don't know what people said about you. That is not why Jesus has come. I don't know the condemnation, but that is not why Jesus has come. He has come not to listen to what people are saying, but to bend low to your level where the law has placed you, and write and rewrite the law and reposition you to a level where there will be no more around to accuse you. The court of the women. Jesus shouldn't have been there because number one, he was a Nazarite. He shouldn't have gone close to the court of the women, but God knew that he had one more person which could be stoned. Therefore, Jesus must break protocol. Therefore, Jesus must break orthodoxy. And tonight I say, Jesus will break orthodoxy and enter your family. He will break orthodoxy and enter your finance. He will break orthodoxy and enter your condition. He will break orthodoxy and enter your situation. If you believe it, lift your hands and say, I receive it. Now watch this. And this incident also happened after the Feast of the Tabernacle. This Feast of the Tabernacles is when they celebrate how they used to dwell in tents on the wilderness journey until God gave them their own place. Their tents were not safe. Now a woman was brought claiming she had an affair with someone, and certainly it may have been one of the people that came from distant places, but it was in her enclosure. They were celebrating the Feast of Tents or the Feast of Tabernacles, and every tent must cover your nudity. Every tent must cover your privacy. And these people had come to remember and celebrate how God saved them and removed that which was only a shadow covering and brought them a better covering. This woman was caught in a room. I don't know whose room it was. Maybe it was her own room. Caught in a tent with a man. She thought she was covered. not knowing she was still exposed. There are better things coming that will make the older things seem so inferior. There are better things that God is going to do that will make things that are gone by feel so or seem so inferior. She dwelt in the tent, yet other people could peep through and see her perform her new works of nudity. I speak grace for you. Whatever caused people to see you exposed, whatever made you feel fallible and gullible, whatever made people easy to reach you, that thing is being dealt with today, because no more will you dwell in a tent. You have now become the temple of God. And Paul said, do you not know that your bodies are the temple of Christ? We don't get exposed to the world because we live in the purity of our new arrangement, the purity of our new self. We live in the purity of what Christ has made us. Is somebody hearing me tonight? What couldn't cover you, Jesus has given a better covering. Your ancestors couldn't cover you, but Jesus has given a better covering. But Jesus came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. Whatever exposed your grandparents cannot be used as a covering on you, for we have a covering from the Almighty. Jesus has been given to serve as a better covering, not just a covering, but also cover and also totally eradicate our sins and leave no memory for condemnation. They were able to find out the lady and condemn her because there were still traces of exposure. But when Jesus says you are covered, he covers your past, covers your present, and even covers your future before you walk into it. And so before anybody try to condemn you, they should understand that you have come to Mount Zion, the city of God, where Jesus is the high priest, and where he lifts up his voice and he speaks for your appeasement. You are appeased, and the God who held anger in his right arm against you is also appeased.